Standard 12th, Subject Physics, the first chapter, Rotational Dynamics. Let us see the introduction of this chapter. The very first point is circular motion and rotational motion. So what is this circular motion and what is rotational motion? So the motion of any object along the circumference of any circular path is called as circular motion. During circular motion, the object revolves about some point outside the object or about some other object. While in case of rotational motion, the object revolves about an axis of rotation passing through the object. For example, the motion of a ceiling fan as a whole is considered as rotational motion, and the motion of any particle on its blade is considered as the circular motion. Now, if you consider this diagram first, then in this first diagram, this is the object. This is the body which is revolving along the circumference of this circle about an axis of rotation which is outside the body, and therefore this will be circular motion because about this axis of rotation which is outside that body, this body is in circular motion, and that's why it is the circular motion. While in case of second diagram, the axis of rotation is passing through that body itself, and then that body is set into rotation about this axis of rotation passing through it, and therefore as that body is rotating about an axis passing through it, therefore it is the rotational motion. So in case of circular motion, all the particles of this body will perform circular motion, while in case of rotational motion, those points which are lying on this axis of rotation will not perform the circular motion, but all other particles in this body will perform circular motion, and as a whole that body will perform the rotational motion. Now let us see the characteristics of this circular motion. First one is it is an accelerated motion. So if you consider the circular motion of any body, then the direction of velocity of that body changes point to point. So because it will be tangential at each and every point along this circle, and therefore the direction of the velocity will continuously change, and as the direction changes, that body will be possessing some acceleration, and therefore the circular motion is accelerated motion. Then the circular motion may be periodic motion. Second characteristic is it is a periodic motion. The motion is said to be periodic if the same path is repeated by that body again and again. So in case of circular motion, again, if that body starts its motion from this point, then after completing a circle, again it will come to this point, and then it will be periodic. So the characteristics of the circular motion are it is accelerated motion and it is periodic motion. Now let us go for next point, that is the kinematics of circular motion. The kinematics of circular motion. Already you are familiar with the linear or translational motion, where in case of translational motion, vector s represents displacement, vector v which is equal to ds by dt represents linear velocity, and vector a equal to dv by dt which represents the linear acceleration. On the other hand, in case of circular motion, some of the angular velocities we will consider. So similar to that of displacement in translational motion, theta will represent the angular displacement in case of circular motion. Similarly, omega, factor omega will represent angular velocity, which will be analogous to this linear velocity v, and that omega will be equal to d theta by dt, that is rate of change of displacement, angular displacement with respect to time. Similarly, factor alpha will be analogous with this factor A in translational motion. So in this case, factor alpha is nothing but the angular acceleration, and so it will be nothing but the rate of change of angular velocity with respect to time, that is d omega by dt, and therefore theta will be analogous with s, omega is analogous with v, and alpha is analogous with a. So these are the quantities we consider in case of circular motion. Now, if you consider these quantities, then the tangential velocity v, that is linear velocity, and angular velocity are related as vector v equal to vector omega cross vector r in vector form. If you consider only the magnitude of linear velocity and angular velocity, then in magnitude it will be given as v equal to r omega or v equal to omega r. Now, if you consider here the two circular paths, these are the two circular paths. In the first case, that body is revolving in anticlockwise sense, while in second diagram it is revolving in clockwise sense, and therefore here it will represent the direction of this angular velocity omega, and therefore angular velocity omega in both these diagrams is directed along the axis of rotation, but only its direction will be different. So if that body is revolving in anti-clockwise sense, if the body is revolving in anti-clockwise sense, at that time this omega is directed in the upward direction if that motion is in the horizontal plane. Again, in the second case, that omega will be directed in the downward direction if that body is performing circular motion in clockwise sense. Now this direction of omega will be given by right hand thumb rule. By right hand thumb rule, so it will be stated like this: curl the fingers of our right hand around the axis of rotation, and the thumb will be stretched along the axis of rotation. So here in this case, the thumb is stretched in the upward direction along the axis, and other four fingers are curled around it. So if the curl fingers denote the direction of rotation or revolution of that body, that is in anti-clockwise sense, then thumb will denote the direction of angular velocity. So in this case, the fingers are denoting the sense of revolution in anti-clockwise sense, and thumb will be stretched in the upward direction, so that thumb will denote the direction of angular velocity omega. But in the second case, now if the fingers denote the sense of rotation, then the thumb will denote the direction of angular velocity. So like this, if fingers are curled in clockwise sense, then the thumb will be stretched in the downward direction, and therefore omega will be directed in the downward direction. So this will be regarding the direction of angular velocity omega, which is always along the axis of rotation. Now if t is the period of revolution of that body, if t is the period of revolution of the body, that is time taken by that body to complete one circle, and n is the frequency of revolution of that body. If n is frequency, then angular velocity omega is given as 2 pi upon t. That will be equal to 2 pi n. So omega angular velocity equal to 2 pi upon t, or that will be equal to 2 pi n. Now let us consider the uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion. Now what is that? Uniform circular motion. So if you consider the motion, circular motion, it will be uniform circular motion or non-uniform circular motion. So during circular motion, if the speed of the particle remains constant, during circular motion, if the speed of that particle performing circular motion remains constant, then it is called as uniform circular motion. That is, in uniform circular motion, only the direction of velocity changes at every instant, but velocity is always tangential to its path. The acceleration responsible for this motion is centripetal or radial acceleration. So when that body is in uniform circular motion, then the centripetal or radial acceleration of that body will be given as AR, vector AR, that is radial or centripetal acceleration, equal to minus omega square r. So this negative sign will indicate that this acceleration will be oppositely directed to that of radius vector r. So in magnitude, AR will be equal to simply r omega square. So this will be regarding uniform circular motion. Now if you consider this uniform circular motion, in this case the acceleration is always directed towards the center of circular path, and hence it is called as radial or centripetal acceleration. The acceleration of the body is always directed towards the center of the circular path. So for example, circular motion of any particle of the rotating fan, similarly circular motion of the hands of a clock, all these are the uniform circular motion. On the other hand, if you consider this non-uniform circular motion, then during circular motion, if the velocity of the object changes, that is in both magnitude as well as direction, then the motion is said to be non-uniform circular motion. Now, as tangential velocity changes, angular velocity will also change. That is, as phi changes, omega will change. Hence, there is angular acceleration alpha, which is given as d omega by dt. The direction of alpha is always along the axis of rotation, and then for increasing speed, it is along the direction of omega, and for decreasing speed it is always opposite to omega. That is, when there is increase in the speed, at that time both omega and alpha will be directed in the same direction, while when there is decrease in the speed of the object, omega and alpha will be oppositely directed. Now let us go for next point, very important point, and that is nothing but this centripetal force and centrifugal force. Centripetal force and centrifugal force. So if you consider these two terms, centripetal and centrifugal forces, the force which provides centripetal or radial acceleration to that body is called as centripetal or radial force. The direction of this force will be always towards the center of the circle. On the other hand, a force equal in magnitude to that of centripetal force and oppositely directed, that is away from the center of the circle, is called as centrifugal force. So in this case, if you consider centripetal force and centrifugal force, then the force acting on the particle which is directed along the radius and towards the center of the circle is called as centripetal force, while The force experienced by the particle which is directed along the radius and away from the center of the circle is called as centrifugal force. Now the centripetal force is the real force. It is a real force. On the other hand, the centrifugal force is pseudo force. It is imaginary or pseudo force. Third one, in case of centripetal force, it will exist in inertial frame of reference, while in case of centrifugal force, it exists in non-inertial frame of reference. In magnitude and direction, the centripetal force is given as minus mr omega square, while centrifugal force is given as mr omega square. So in this diagram, if the body is performing circular motion, then on that body the forces acting will be centripetal force and centrifugal force. This force which is directed outwards, that will be centrifugal force, and the force which is directed towards the center, it is centripetal force. Though these forces are acting along the same line in opposite direction, they will never cancel with each other. And therefore, if you consider this concept of centripetal and centrifugal forces, let us consider one example. When a vehicle is taking a turn along a curved road, the vehicle performs circular motion due to centripetal force, and the passengers inside the vehicle are pushed in the outward direction because of the centrifugal force. Similarly, second example, if any heavy object is tied to one of the ends of the string, and if the string is revolved in circles about the other end, then due to the centripetal force, that object will perform circular motion, and as soon as that string is released from our hand, then along with that string, that object goes in the outward direction along the tangent to that circular path. It happens due to the centrifugal force. So that is regarding centripetal and centrifugal forces.